Hello, guys. Welcome back for another episode of the GhettoRig podcast. It's episode 125, I think. Right?
25.
We
Yeah, we
live,
got it this
baby.
time. We got it. I actually
120,
even checked it before we started the podcast.
just
I
to
was
be sure.
checking it. Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome back, guys. For those who don't know, my name is Eddie. My co-host Jay. You can see him in the corner over there. He's doing this from home. He's not feeling too well, so we're gonna wait until that passes by. And then I got our producer here, Miguel. Usually he's behind the camera, but he'll be joining me on the couch.
You
Since
guys
we
get a special treat until Jay comes back.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, man. I feel like you do really good on the couch. I feel like
I
you
feel
need to.
like Jay doesn't want to come back anymore. He just wants to sit back. He wants to be the one behind the cameras.
I don't know. But I definitely think. I don't know about that one. I don't know about all that. Uh, but I will say I would like to definitely figure out a more interactive way of us sitting and maybe moving this room around in some way to. Because I feel like you're so far, even though we moved the monitor,
We're
like
so far.
no, no,
We're
no,
so
like
far. We're
it's
so
not
far.
the
We're only
same. It's
about
not the
6 feet
same. You're
apart.
like right here versus over there. Like the way we talk and communicate. Like
Yeah.
you stay, you're it's not that you're forced to, and because you can talk whenever you want, but I feel like back there you feel okay to like kind of stay quiet a little more
Oh yeah,
often.
for sure.
When you're here, you kind of forced.
It's my safe zone.
It's your safe zone. I want to get you out of.
I don't like that. I don't like being out there.
No,
I
no, no.
like
You do, but you do
behind. I
good.
like staying behind my cage.
I really liked last episode. It was really good. I thought you did like great. Sitting on the couch, it's normal. It was
Uh,
fine.
I don't know.
Did you walk away with a little
I
bit
I
of the
haven't
jitters or
I
something?
haven't even like looked back at that episode. I don't like listening to my voice.
Yeah, I don't like listening to my voice either. It to this day, it's 125 episodes, and every time I go to look up clips, it's really awkward to listen to my own voice.
What's up, Jay?
I guess I don't know.
True. I mean, nobody really knows.
Yeah, yeah,
No, it's not even that. It's just me being like behind there. I'm just looking at other things, switching around things, and looking at chat, and then moving around the tabs. Oh yeah.
oh, so you can just produce in a chair. You don't even have to need nothing.
I just start switching the scenes from here. Wow, way to use that card on them.
I don't know what makes you think guilt tripping the chat is like the good way to to get them to do stuff. Uh, it's just your preferred method.
So let's get into some nitty gritty. You guys got anything fun to talk about? If not, I can start. Wow, okay. We're starting rough today. Switch scenes.
What do you want to switch to? Oh, my bad.
We're gonna end up talking about them all, so just go
Give
down
it.
that
Yeah,
list,
you
baby.
choose.
Okay, that's a good way to start.
Yeah.
but they're working towards it.
They're getting there. They're getting there.
They're working towards. They're improving.
I saw. Let's go ahead. Go ahead. Oh my god.
Yeah, Timmy, get 4 key cards in there and tell me if that fits in
That's how
there.
they meant. Yo, that's 9 key gaps. That's how they measure. Yeah. So they were using dish soap as grease, basically. Oh, okay.
You can't
Nice.
even blame it on the airline. You can't even say, "Oh, Spirit is sending out these planes," because they're fucking buying the planes from Boeing. Oh, but we've already known that. That's like when a girl gets with a fucking toxic guy or whatever. They already knew what they were signing up for.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw one that recently I seen actually a couple malfunctions on planes in the last couple weeks. There was this one that as it was taking off, it went to go lift up the landing gear, and one of the sides of the landing gear just started blowing out smoke, like clouds of smoke, and instantly they had to land the plane right then and there. I saw another one which wasn't as serious, but it was kind of funny. The bathroom door got stuck closed with someone in there. Oh my god, that
That's a fun
person
airplane ride.
that person straight up freaked out.
I don't.
Freaked out. They started kicking
It's
the
been a
door. They
while.
smashed that
It's
door
been a
open.
while since I've been in an airplane restroom. Do they have
Bro,
seatbelts in there?
no. And it's like as small as a shoebox. Like, yeah. You're contained because it's that small of an area.
Damn. Okay.
You might get a bunch of shit on you though. So we we've all heard Ozzy's famous airplane taking shit stories, right? I coincidentally last time when we were coming from Las Vegas, actually, we're getting here to St. Pete. About an hour and a half left in the flight, I was sleeping and I woke up to really bad stomach pain, really bad. And I tried like sticking it out. I was like, it's only like an hour and a half. Like I went to public school. I know what it is to hold my stomach, you know?
Oh yeah,
So,
dude, I never took it. Yo, we gotta talk about that. How I survived fucking school without ever taking a
nah,
shit,
bro,
basically,
I
damn
probably
near.
took a shit at public
I I
school
took I
handful of
took
times.
I took about 3 times.
Yeah, handful, bro.
You
You you
got to.
you
You got
avoided
to.
that shit at all costs. There was easily a phone that would chink come over that
Man,
stall. Uh, but talking about the plane, I had to go take a shit, man. I had to take a shit on the plane. I had asked Emily. I was like, "Yo, are the bathrooms clean?" And she said, "Yeah, they're pretty clean actually." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, that gives me the green light." If she said no, I wasn't gonna go. I was like, "Fuck it, let's go do it." So I go to the bathroom and I go to like I get in there and I'm like, "Fuck!" It's like already like shoulder to shoulder to each wall, and next to the toilet. Like imagine you're sitting on the toilet, the wall slants up like this, so you automatically have to sit forward like this. That shit's so annoying.
So I
And then
kind of help you push the poop a little bit.
I guess I mean that is the position they say you're supposed to push in, but to wipe, oh that shit's annoying in there, bro. You got no space to move around. Like it's
Gotta
so
be
annoying.
fucking
And all I could think was,
Ozzy.
how the fuck did Ozzy even get in here? Like to sit down and do the deed. Like no wonder he had a catastrophe in there. Cause fuck.
I can't read that from here.
Uh, what's up, Natalie? How you doing? Thank you for joining us. Yeah, I bathroom airplanes. That sucks.
Yeah, no, I don't. I think in middle school I might have taken one poop in at the, school restrooms. High school maybe two. It was
Uh,
rough though. It's just not it. So much shit that you would avoid out of those restrooms.
so you know how like,
People taking pictures, uh, disgusting restrooms in general,
oh yeah.
and then just people peeing on the floors and shit. That's
So
just
you
gross.
remember when we were in high school, we got it at 1:35, right?
Yeah.
So my body to this day is still on that shit schedule of afternoon. I be working with my dad. 12:30, 1 o'clock comes around.
Oh, you're talking about your poop schedule.
My shit, yeah, my actual shit schedule, yeah, it's still tied to fucking high school.
Mine varies. Mine adapts pretty quickly depending on my workplace.
It was crazy. My shit was so like on point that I would literally be walking in the door from school and it's like I know I have to go directly to the bathroom and take a shit
It's like a
every
little
day.
ritual.
Yeah.
Same thing whenever I get home from work. You gotta sit down on there, reflect on the day as you
Oh, actually, in
unwind.
I remember one time I was in middle school and getting home, I had to take a shit and hopping out of the car, I shit myself.
Oof. Yeah, I mean,
I was sick, and so it
what can I
was,
say? Shit happens.
when I was stepping out, I went to go let go of a fart, Aussie style, and I shit myself. It was thankfully like
Let it
literally like
rip.
hopping out of my car in the front yard. So like I just walked inside and took care of everything. A lot of people are like Natalie. A lot of people are like Natalie with like I've heard people like I think one of my cousins said Pamela or Blanca, one of them is like just smelling the coffee in the morning, like instantly gotta take a shit.
Damn.
Just the smell. Go ahead. Uh-huh. Okay. Okay. Uh-huh. So, you want to hear
I
something
don't. I don't
interesting,
like.
Jay?
I don't like this right here
You want to hear something
because
interesting, Jay?
it's not inclusive.
As someone who has cleaned hundreds, let's say even got to probably thousand of bathrooms, women on average are way nastier in the bathroom. I'm being honest. I'm being honest. Yes, when you go into a guy's bathroom, it's fucking piss everywhere. But women, they're on another level. I'm not gonna lie, bro. On average, when the bathrooms I clean, the girls' bathrooms are usually nastier. For some fucking reason, they're nastier. They don't. But this is the thing, Jay. Think about it. Think about it. They're just like you. They didn't even know. They're automatically thinking like you that the guys are the nasty ones and they're a little bit cleaner. But little do they know, they the nasty bitches.
They're the ones fucking flowing rivers of fucking blood every fucking month.
Bro, I hate this is damn near embarrassing, but it's my job. I've had to pick up menstrual shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm
That's
thinking
where the
about.
territory where this shit gets into nastiness. Pee is one thing, man.
Because the only the only reason a guy would be pissed off that it's a pink bathroom is that it may cause some confusion as to whether he could use it or not. That's the only thing I can think of, just because they don't give a fuck. I literally the other day we were at a gas station right after a shoot, and this guy was waiting behind me, to use the restroom, and he says, "Oh, I hope he doesn't take too long." Waited like 30 seconds, and then just walks into the girls' restroom instead. Took his piss, walked out.
So can I? I'm sorry,
And
Jay.
just to add to
This might
that,
have been a squirrel moment for me, but can I hear the title of this article again? I just want to hear that. 19 photos. That came out. That came out really wrong, Jay. I just want you to know that. That last sentence. Oh, I wouldn't. I don't know. I don't see anybody I know getting triggered at this. So
me neither.
no. Why? Yeah, but there's certain reasons for that all the time. Maybe the blue one's on sale right now. Like this one looks like a this looks like a waste of resource to me though on this one. Like no one really cares No, when you're going to buy your dog shampoo, no one is looking at that boy or girl's shampoo. You know. I think that's good. Your audio is really laggy, and I think it might be from the stream. Oh shit. Stop your live. Stop your live. Is you're still streaming. And just there you go. There you go. Thank you. I see. Yeah, they're just gonna be putting ideas and thoughts behind it, and that's the whole reason it's gonna go viral because kids fight all the time.
Do you guys think that technology is going to take over the schooling system?
So I
Because
think
maybe, I mean, people already are going to technology for learning lessons.
I think that eventually it's gonna get to a point where you just have an AI for a teacher. I
Hmm.
mean, they already don't like paying teachers what they pay them. It's already such shit money. I think that you are still gonna have private schools, right? That in these
You're
where
going to
you
have
can
more traditional schools, or that's going to be more of the commodity.
exact. It is gonna be a commodity because the school system's gonna look at what's the most cheap and efficient way. You
Hmm.
know, so an AI. Think about it this way: an AI doesn't have to go one head by one head in the classroom and be like, "Hey, this, and this." No, like the kid's gonna have instant access, and the AI can be talking to all of them at once about different questions. You
Hmm.
know, uh, right. Or online.
Emily said she can't hear Jay.
Say again.
Emily said she can't hear Jay.
Can't hear Jay. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh, because I had him muted on one scene, but didn't know. Okay,
It's
there you
okay.
go.
All right. So I don't know how much you guys could hear, but we covered a little bit about the girl getting all
I think it was just a
beat up.
switch of scenes or whatever.
Okay. So yeah, the girl getting beat up. So anyway, the people are putting political twist on it. Yet
But
no, they
I think you mistook his question, Jay. He was talking about like the teacher roles being swapped out for AI, not
Yeah.
necessarily like the students using AI, because we know the students are using anything they can, any
yeah.
resource. Um,
So I talked to a teacher, and she was saying that she will check what's written, and this was an English teacher. And if there's a word that she doesn't think that student wrote, and she would straight up ask, "What does this word mean?"
yeah,
Like you can't use the word and you don't know what that means, right? This is your stuff that you wrote. And That you can do that in high school because teachers are more up close and personal with the kids, so you can kind of ascertain who's who, and if they can write that way. In the colleges, it's not going to matter. So in the beginning of the classes, like or those filler classes, they're not going to care because there's too many students. But I think as you progress through your school, because you're going to need more and more complex knowledge and more experimental knowledge that you're going to have to do yourself to get certain results. You know what I mean? With like proof and things like that, especially if you're in sciences. Because I remember we did in microbiology, we literally took samples of stool, samples of pee, and we did like whole assays on this to figure out what bacteria is in the poop and the pee and things like that. And you have to be able to like slowly go through your experiments to ascertain that this is the bacteria. And you just randomly put this as the bacteria I have because you have a lab partner, and those things need to match. You know what I mean? Unless you're really well coordinating with your lab partners, like, hey, we're not going to do any work. This is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to write out.
Now,
Right.
what about the teachers? What about when the teachers getting replaced by AIs?
Uh, that's what I'm saying. Teachers getting replaced by AI, it's going to be difficult for teachers to be replaced by the AIs because that means that this person, like this AI, has to be so conscious that, and then it's going to be very white and black. They're going to have to
But
build in the curves and things like that. So it's going to be difficult to say at what level of a curve to give because there are times you take an exam and the entire class fails. Literally, they have to curve it.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Because the
right.
class cannot fail completely. They have to curve the class.
But another cool
So
thing about AI is that it's tailor like whenever
It's
you're
tailor made,
interacting
right?
with it, it is tailor made towards whatever the
The
person.
situation is. And what's more conscious than an AI that can pick up on literally every syllable you're going to be spitting out and
now,
processing that and cross referencing it with prior information that you've given it
Immediately.
now
immediately. Yeah,
Now, what I'm saying basically is, I don't think you'll see that in my generation. Maybe in your generation, but I still highly doubt that it's going to get to that point.
I don't
I
know.
think this
I
is
think
going to
we'll definitely
eventually
see
happen,
it.
but not yet.
I think we'll see it in our lifetimes for sure. Where certain classes will be maybe start to be AI taught, and this they're going to start to roll that in, kind of like they did with the online
The
classes.
online class is a perfect example of that.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, they will do that. They will eventually do that, but I think it's going to be basic stuff where it's like, very clear cut, like you're doing, let's say, basic math problems, and there's no curve, nothing. These are the grades that you're going to get, and the AI is going to go grade it and call it a day. They're going to AI generate the actual PowerPoint, you know what I mean? And then the AI generate the speech and the videos, the cartoon characters, but all that needs to come together, I think, before they even go that route. You know what I mean? So.
I mean, I think definitely with math, because I don't know about you guys. For me, the best way I learned at math was simply just going through the problem step by step with the teacher when they were doing it on the board. And if I could follow that process, it would lock down in my brain.
Yep.
Um, I really didn't need to study much for like formulas or anything like that. And now I can say I was 2 years ahead
I
when it came
sucked
to
at
math
math, but I got
compared to
by.
my peers. Huh?
I sucked at math, but I got by. I don't know how.
Yeah, no.
I
I was
barely
pretty good at
I
math.
barely passed my final resort for graduating, which was this test that I had to take, and I ended up switching from algebra 2 to this class called math for college readiness,
Yeah.
which had just come out that year, and it was my savior.
Yeah, because
Let me
they
ask you
gave
this,
they gave
Miggy.
basically started bringing out classes for math, reading, writing, all those things that were for people that were not being able to pass the normal classes. Kind of saying, hey, like
Here's a resort, a
here's a
different
handy
solution.
basically call it a handicap in a
Yeah.
sense where I'll give you a handicap and you can get by.
Yep.
Hey, Miggy, do you serious question? Do you remember the size of your bus? Was it a little bit shorter than usual? No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking.
There were less people on it. I'll tell you that.
I'm joking, bro. I'm joking. Shit.
Funny, actually, all
Well,
the school system was fucking so shit, man. I remember our capacity was like around 1,000, and we had like 1,700 students
Oh yeah.
in the school. Dude, the school was fucking packed, man. That shit was
The
crazy.
traffic jams in the hallways were insane too.
Uh-huh. Yep.
You,
And everyone
so
was
what
so
was it?
rude.
3 minutes to get to class?
It was like 4, I think.
3 4 minutes.
Yeah, it was bullshit though.
so guys, do you guys know who's Bridget McCron?
Sorry, you broke up.
Bridget
Bridget who?
McCalkin.
Macron.
Macron, no.
or Emmanuel Macron. Emmanuel Macron is the president of France, and Brigitte Macron is his wife. Emmanuel Macron is 45 years old, and Brigitte Macron is 70 years old. And some people even saying that she's 78. There's an entire page dedicated to Brigitte Macron. So Candace Owens literally not long ago tweeted this. After looking into this, I would stake my entire professional reputation on the fact that Brigitte Macron is in fact a man. Owens wrote in a Tuesday post on X, formerly Twitter. Any journalist or publication that is trying to dismiss this plausibility, this is what she says, continues to say, any journalist or publication that is trying to dismiss the plausibility is immediately identifiable as establishment. I have never seen anything like this in my life. The implications here are terrifying. So, how the story goes? The story goes that Emmanuel Macron met his wife, now Brigitte Macron, in a drama class when he was 15 years old. And then later down the road, they never dated. Later down the road, they reconnected and kind of fell in love with her during this drama class, and they
I want to see what
reconnected.
she
And
looks like.
yeah, so you want me to pull it up?
I got it. Don't worry, because I don't want you to keep
Okay.
streaming and the
Yeah, go ahead.
audio bugging out. I'll
Go
pull
ahead.
it up.
Yeah. So So here's the situation with Brigitte Macron. There's a whole website dedicated specifically to this. Some journalist, Natalia something or another, went into this and did a bunch of research. So apparently, Brigitte Macron cannot produce any pictures of her for the first 30 years of her life, right?
So
They've
she
been,
so she just she doesn't have any pictures.
she doesn't have any pictures. And then she says that she has a brother who's nowhere to be found. And internet lately after, let's say, she was 30 years old.
Okay, so why is this important?
So they're basically saying, conspiracy theorists saying that Brigitte Macron in reality actually was a male before and then converted to a female. But here's where the plot thickens. Apparently, this male, right, the name is her brother, who was gay and involved with the priest in back in 80s who was found dead, was also a ringleader that they found lately for child molesters, pedophiles. He was the first one for advocating for
CRON.
gay marriage, first to advocate for gay marriage, first to advocate for gender change, things like that. Right now, again, gay marriage, the sex change. If that's what you feel like doing, when you're 18 years old and growing up on your own, go ahead and do that. You know, um, if your parents are on board with that, that's a different story. Like, whatever the age limitation on that is, it is what it is. Now, as far as that goes, so the conspiracy goes that not only she she's a man, but she's also a pedophile, I guess.
Ah,
Um,
so they're really throwing a bunch
so
of shit at her, huh?
a lot of shit at her, yeah, and she's ended up suing for
Defamation.
character assassination, defamation of character, things like that. They found actually, literally, when this came out, they found immediately like that. They found the reporter, literally, when this website came out, they found the reporter right away. So anyway, as I said, this is one of those
She
international news
looks
that you're
she
like, yeah,
looks like
whatever,
a
it's in
store
France.
mannequin. She looks like a store mannequin with
She
a wig.
she has some work done. Yeah, she definitely has
So
some work done to her.
I thought she looked like a like a skeleton from the Halloween store with a wig on it. That's it. If you had to give me.
And there's a picture of her brother and her on internet as a meme where they like cut half of the face of
Uh huh.
brother and half the face of her and then just put it together. It kind of aligns, but again, brother, sister,
Yeah,
there could be some sort of
they're
familiar
just
relationship
they're
or
probably just putting
look-alikeness.
shit together here, and I think
Remember, remember when we were messing around with that Snapchat filter in Blanca and Doogie?
yeah,
And when you put a Snapchat filter on Blanca as a guy, she looked like Doogie, and then you put a Snapchat filter on Doogie as a
yeah.
girl, looked like Blanca. So
Or
there's
they
that.
you did it. I mean, one time they put a filter on Lynette, and she looked like me.
Yes, yes, yes. So I think there's a little bit. So I don't know how much true this is. The whole thing that the community is screaming is like, well, then produce some photos of you before 30, and if you don't have it, let's do a blood test and prove it that you're not. You know what I mean? And if you are, that's okay. Just why you're lying about this, right?
But
So
why
again,
do they
but this
care
is
so much to ask her?
exactly, this is an invasion of privacy, right? But for the longest, everybody kind of thought that President of France is kind of gay, but he's closeted. He doesn't want to reveal this.
Uh huh.
No, again, for one reason or another reason, that's his privacy, whether he wants to reveal it or not.
Exactly.
If anything, gay community would be proud if he was gay and revealed himself. Like, okay, well, another one. Like you need to accept us the
Another
way
one.
we are because what
DJ
we have.
Khaled.
Yeah, we have presidents. Well, actually, Boeing is the DJ Khaled of airplanes, right? Boeing,
Another one.
another one. So, but apparently, so that's the whole thing, right? Like as I said, for us, it's not gonna matter. And again, why do you even fucking care?
Yeah,
What's the
that's my
situation?
biggest question is why do you even really care so much?
Yes. So,
Like
anyway,
that's a straight up the number one question to Candace is like, aren't you supposed to be out here like trying to talk about political shit? Like, why do you care so much to like
well, I think
even go
her.
out there and put like, oh, my entire reputation and this and that? Like, why do you
Well,
care
I
so
think
much?
her thing is I think the second sentence is more important for her than the first one, right? For second sentence says any journalist or publication that is trying to dismiss the plausibility is immediately identified as establishment, right? Which means because she's been going a lot and saying, well, you're establishment, you're this, you're that, like basically saying that there's some sort of a cabal that controls the world, this and that. So I think the second sentence is more important than the first sentence. I don't think she could give a shit if this is a man or a woman, right? But what I think she does care about is basically showing that there's some sort of a cabal,
Isn't
international cabal that's
isn't it
protecting the
interesting
elite.
though? She's trying to, let's say, unveil this super secretive cabal, whatever, and like the Matrix or whatever, however you want to call it, right? Um, you choose this topic, the one that nobody gives. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't really make any sense at the end of the day.
Well, yeah, because so here's the thing. There's a lot of conspiracy theorists about the man with the mustache in World War II and the Jewish community and the Arab community, this and that. The longest time, um, I didn't know this, but apparently the word anti-Semite means somebody that against people that are from that region, not necessarily just Jewish people, but it could be Arabs or Aramaic people, like obviously Hebrews. You know what I mean? So it's a very engulfing term for that people that were born in that region, but it's used more towards saying that if somebody's anti-Semite, you immediately think about that they hate Jewish
Anti-Jew,
people,
yeah.
right? Yes, yeah. So and a lot of people that have come out and talked about this have been canceled on a lot of social media and things like that, which they should if they're spreading hate about a group or a nation, right? They should get canceled, right? If they're spewing pure hate, right? Because here's the thing with I don't care what nationality, what color, or what religion you are. There's always the right and the left, and they're both. You have the right extremes and left extremes, and you're gonna have bad people on both sides. Doesn't matter what color you are. In general, people are good. Majority of people are good, but you do have pockets of people that are fucking bad, no matter what country you take. Like this is obvious as a day, right? But a lot of times people will take that and run with it and label everyone with the same
On
label,
that
and that's
side,
where that
yeah.
becomes a problem. Now, there's a conspiracy in the world that there's a Jewish mafia that controls the world. There's a conspiracy in the world that Jewish mafia has stolen nuclear weapons from United States and taken to Israel. Things like that. That Israel has been financed by United States. There's a lot of conspiracy about that, right? They even have a name for it. They call them Zionists, which means like they're for the public Republic of Israel, right? Now, all this is conspiracy theories, right? Now, is there truth to it? Most likely not. But so anyway, the point here is that there's certain topics that she can touch right now and certain that she cannot, right? And she has to be very careful not to get canceled because social media is her platform, right? So she has to pick a battle in a fashion where she can kind of say these things,
I think it's still a
but not
bad
really
pick.
hurt a whole group.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
It
It's
is,
still a bad pick.
but that's
And
what they do, right?
yeah, still a bad pick. I feel like it's a bad thing to make an example of. You know what I mean? Uh,
Yeah.
for sure.
And then another one. So Biden has been indicted, right? The reason he was indicted is basically for taking documents when he was a vice president, as top secret documents as a vice president. Then you had the hearing and everything. And what happened was, I guess, he gave these documents to a ghostwriter to write a book about him, which made, I think, $8 million or something like that. So when he gave him these documents, they apparently he said, "Well, I think I said that these could be classified. Be careful." And then they came back in the trial and said, "Well, I didn't know what classified word meant."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Wait a minute. You're a vice president. You don't know what classified means, and
Talking
you've been in
shit.
politics for yeah. You're
That's
talking shit."
He's a career
Yeah,
politician.
and then yeah, the ghostwriter noticed that he immediately shoved these files into the recycle bin and tried to destroy the files. So, but then they asked, "So, are we going to prosecute him?" And the pretty much the thing was like, "Well, no." And they're like, "What do you mean? Didn't he lie that he gave classified documents to someone else?" Well, they're like, "Well, here's this is what happened. No, he said a lot of things that contradict to the evidence that we found. We're pretty much going to let him go." Now, here's where my two theories come in, right? Because we know Trump is getting indicted for a similar thing, right? And Biden was, I guess, cooperative, which means he kind of like revealed all the facts,
So
this and that, blah blah blah.
you want to hear something? I actually
Yeah,
asked my dad recently about, when the initial story came out a couple months ago of him having documents,
yeah,
this and that, and them basically trying to pin a similar story on him, like what happened with Trump and this and that. And I asked my dad about that the other day, and from what he explained to me was that when they came across, I don't know if this is when he was vice president. I think this is the documents that
vice
happened.
president, vice
No, I'm saying
president
that your case, what you're talking about right now, is when he was vice president. I think what happened recently was documents he had actually current. You know what I mean?
is
That's
the
something
president.
as president, exactly. So the case that happened as president, from what my father told me, they actually found the documents and directly went to his lawyer and told the government, "Hey, we have these. We know we weren't supposed to, but we do have them. We didn't know we had them. We found them now, and we're
Yeah,
instantly bringing them to you." Which
yeah,
wasn't the story kind of told to the broad public, you know?
yeah, yeah. So that one, I think that one, they're kind of like they're like whatever. But this vice presidency one was clearly he gave these to the ghostwriter to write the story
Got you.
for the book, and the ghostwriter himself was on a literally like in front of the Congress answering questions, right? So, so the so there was a lot of bullshit on their side. On it was like, oh, I don't. It's like I don't recall doing this. Like, or blah, blah. Anyway,
Do you
the
guys
point is not
know?
that.
Do you guys know
Either way,
who the only independent president in U.S. history was?
no,
It's pretty easy. Just try and take a guess. Just take one.
Just go for it, Miggy.
No,
Trump.
There's 45 or
I don't know.
44.
George Washington, the one and only.
Yeah,
Supposedly, I was gonna say the best, but then you thought about it, and then he had slaves, and it's
He had
like,
slaves in his
yeah,
teeth.
and would yeah, I was gonna say yeah. So anyway, so here's my theory here. If they indict him and say he's like this is bad, that's impeachment. If that's impeachment, Kamala becomes president for the next 6 or 4, however many months, right? If Kamala becomes president, they don't have another candidate for the Democratic candidate. They just don't. They don't have enough money to convince the people that this person should be chosen as the president. They really don't. If they had Michelle Obama in the back pocket ready to go and convinced her and had spent some money to get her out there and doing these things, maybe that would have worked, right? But they're obviously not trying to go that route, or even Kamala if
I
they're
don't
like pushing her.
wait. I mean,
So
this
who
is
would
my
who would
small.
be their candidate?
I don't know about that, but just take one step back. Do you really think that in any way that's gonna happen? Like him getting indicted and
No, no, no,
actually
no, no.
impeached?
It's no,
Probably
it's
not gonna
not because
happen.
they said
Yeah,
because they said we're not going to pay
we're
attention to
done.
this. We're going
Yeah,
to let it go. So now, but then what this does, it says, well, You let him go. Why are we still indicting Trump?
Well, maybe because on multiple occasions, he did not do what Biden did. He was not was compliant in what's in any way or fashion was he compliant. Continued to lie even after they came after him on multiple occasions.
So, I understand what you're saying, but this is where I have a problem with the way that law is being done, right?
Yeah.
Because if you commit a uh, murder, and then you go out there, commit a murder, and you do, let's say it's an accidental murder, it's not
But
your fault, obviously you're going to go free, right? But if you committed a murder and you say, you know what, I killed this person, I give up, here, come take it, take the evidence, you're going to get a sentence in prison.
so
If you commit a murder and you try to hide it and do this and that, you're still going to get a sentence, but a
yes,
bigger one,
right.
right? But here's the thing. Here's the thing. You are getting sentences for both cases, right? And they caught you doing
Same
the
thing.
the same thing. But the problem here was it wasn't the judge deciding what the sentencing is going to be. It wasn't the peers deciding that this person is guilty. It was the lawyers and attorneys negotiating with each other and saying, we're going to drop it.
So
Do you see what I'm saying? The
I would like
Biden
to.
attorney with the district attorney.
I think that you made a good point, but I think the comparison to the crime is a little outlandish, in the sense where these presidents over we've had some presidents who have done some outlandish scandalous shit and gotten away with it. Not just these two, right? In the past we can
And
go
and I'm
back, right? Talk about
and I'm
Watergate
against
and
that
things
shit.
like this, right?
And I'm
Listen though.
against that.
So, but I think you should compare the situation to more of, instead of looking at the law and someone committing a crime, look at it this way. Let's say me and Miguel are brothers, and we both break some glass cups, right? On different occasions though. Let's say, well, the day I break my glass cup, um, I walk away from it. I left the glass on the floor. But when mom came and she said, "Who broke this cup?" I was like, "It was me. I'm sorry." And she's like, "Why'd you break this glass?" I'm sorry. I'll clean it up. This and that. Versus when Miguel breaks the cup and she comes over, "Who broke the glass cup?" I don't know. I didn't break the fucking cup. It wasn't me. It was him, I think. Okay, and then
Yeah,
she
but
goes and
that's
looks on the camera. "Oh, you broke the cup." Yeah, okay, I might have broke the cup, but it was because this and this happened. No, you broke the fucking cup, and just like the constant,
yeah, but that's breaking a cup. No one is getting hurt
I no, no,
in
no,
breaking a cup. This is the
but
national
I
security.
get it, but you have to
National
look at the
security.
way they treat these
Well,
guys, man. You know what I mean?
let's look at it this way. You both steal a credit card and you both spend all of your parents' life savings, absolutely all of the life savings, right? And then you're like, yeah, mom, I did it. And then Miguel says, no, I didn't do it.
See, but they're
I
not
think that's a little more
the grav.
comparable.
They're,
Or
no,
put
it's
your
not,
family
because
in like a $30,000 or $40,000 debt.
it's not though. It really isn't, because they're not looking at it. It's not comparable, because my $40,000 debt to them is fucking a nuke is about to go off. You know what I mean?
No,
Like
but what I'm
this
saying
isn't on a grand scale of things. It's
no, what I'm saying on a family scale,
right.
30, 40,000 there. Mom came, like who broke the cup? Oh shit, you
That's
know
what I'm
what? I
saying. Being
did. I'm
compliant
sorry.
in this
Yes,
situation, the being compliant is the big, I think, the big difference. And I mean, Trump is easy to go after, and they've been trying to go after him for years.
that's it.
You know,
And I think,
um, it's not only
and
just
I
this
think,
one occasion. He's got a record at this point. He's broken many cups.
yeah. But what I'm trying to say, I think there's more than just the breaking a cup. I think there's a little bit more. But here's the thing. I think what I'm trying to point out that the both sides play dirty as shit.
Oh
They
yeah,
play dirty as shit. And they pull out whatever fucking stuff they can to smear another person's name and to like put them in a bad light. And it doesn't stop anywhere. But yet they both belong to the same team, but yet they both make money in a similar fashion.
and
They
hate each
both
other.
have offshore accounts, and they're just kind of like, I'm gonna poke you a little bit here, I'm gonna poke you a little bit there. So, and then all this shit floats out, and then they're like, well, why does general public not trust our politicians? No shit, Sherlock. How can you? You know what I
Miggy,
mean? And this is why Candace Owens says go out there and say, well, this is establishment, right? Like they're creating this scenario and they've been getting away for this with this for years now, you know?
Mickey,
So
you got any of your classic questions for us prepped?
I can see.
I can see he says.
oh, another thing when he looks up, so Fresh and Fit went on a debate with H3, I guess Ethan Klein,
Okay.
H3.
I probably gotta see a
And I was
picture.
like, oh shit, them boys about to get roasted because Ethan Klein is like a notorious troll, very known for doing his research and putting people on a blast and things like that. And you know what? I was kind of like disappointed by Ethan Klein, like a lot, because this guy didn't like he kind of talked to try to put him on a blast, and it was more like alluding to things, being a troll, like just calling them names and
From
stuff on a debate,
from
like
what
they're
I've
being
heard,
rude and calling names.
from what I've heard, I didn't recognize, I didn't put face to name at first, but now that I see his
Mhm.
face, I know you're talking about. I've seen a couple videos of people bashing this guy, man, for lately just kind of being pretty stale, you know?
Yeah, so he and the entire time I don't know if he was nervous or that was just a nervous tick that he has, or just a tick, like he was twitching and shaking on a stream, like doing these kind of things. I don't know, but like it seemed that he came unprepared, and it was more like it's more like, well, I'm going to assume this happened. Thus, this happened
Yeah,
because in my assumption, this is what happens when this happens. So I'm going to say that this happened.
with
Like
no
there's no
no
concrete
evidence.
proof or no evidence, nothing like that. And then I was like, you know what? Let me go read the comments. Like I went on both of their comments, and then both sides were clearly kissing the
Either
left
one's
side's
ass.
ass.
Yeah,
Yeah. But one thing I noticed is that that side that was kissing Ethan Klein's ass, they're very good at assuming something without having proof and thinking of themselves as very being very intelligent and being able to read between the lines and grasping at the straws, hearing something they don't like about the opposite side, grasping that straw and just going with it, right? So I don't know. This other side does that too, but not as much.
yeah.
You know what I mean? On this other side, you could clearly see their own supporters were like, "Bro, like guys, you kind of fucked up. You should have came in a little with harder." Like this side was actually criticizing their own people, where on the other side, they were more like,
Just following along.
there's no criticism, like he's godsend, right? So I was like, you know what, Ethan, bro, like you used to be the troll, bro. Everybody watched you because you used to be so based, you know what I mean? Like you fucking pointed out everything and your shit was on point. And he's got 30 people working for him, 3 million followers. And and yeah, so pretty much, and apparently Fresh and Fit had like clips of him like being he's Jewish himself, but being anti-Semitic towards Shapiro, like saying slurs and then saying things like racist things towards them, Fresh and Fit, you know, like the N-word and things like that. So and the boys were like, listen, we're not even gonna play these um, because we're not gonna stoop to his level,
Yeah,
right? So it was fucking it was a strange, it was not a very good debate. And then what happened at
I'd
the end, they
actually,
just rage quit.
I'd actually
They
be
rage quit.
interested in looking at that one.
So apparently I watched both of the streams, right? I watched both of them on the Fresh and Fit side and Ethan Klein's side. On Fresh Fit's side, you could see clearly that they did not give, because it was on Zoom, they did not allow him to share their screen for anything, the entire stream, even though the guy said, hey, listen, we just see a pop-up on your stream that said, on his side of the stream, you didn't see the pop-up. On their side of the stream, you saw the pop-up come up
Yeah.
saying, hey, you don't have rights to share your screen. And apparently they didn't give him the rights till the entire debate was over.
Okay, that's interesting. What you got for us,
Yeah,
Miggy?
so
Do you guys think that globalization could eventually wipe out cultural diversity?
No.
Or
So,
do you guys
uh,
maybe think that it's gonna just help spread it?
so
um,
you're gonna see. I think I have a weird opinion on this because I'm not 100% sure, but everyone that starts to adopt these similar ideas on, for example, like basic human rights, and things like this. But at the end of the day, you still have pockets within these cultures that have adapted all the same ideas. You know what I mean? even within cities, you have there's still cliques of different cultures that just kind of stay together, even though they all kind of get along, right? And sometimes they include outsiders. All the time, they usually do. I mean, I don't care. I'll bring a white friend to the Hispanic party, not a problem with me. Um, but it's not gonna get rid of it completely. We're gonna start adopting similar ideas, right, for styles of life, but there's still gonna be cultural traditions that should stick around.
Should. Hmm.
So so yes, he's kind of right about it. So I think the things that will kind of so I think things such as education in countries that education is valued a lot is gonna still stay the same way, right? Like they're still gonna continue valuing education at higher regard, and their kids gonna grow up very educated. But I think the things that are more biological and innate to us, right? Those things will get more globalized because you can't change biology. Biology is pretty much about the same across the globe. So one good example I can think of is dating, like the way dating between sexes works, male and a female. I think that's going to globalize a little bit more,
And
versus where
I want to touch a little
where
bit
you
on that too here in a second.
yeah, which I think about education and like certain traditions will stay the same. But again, the world is going to progress, I think, continuously. Like there is no pendulum swinging back. The pendulum always goes forward and it just doesn't stop, right? Like it's gonna go forward. Some countries are gonna be a little bit behind. Some countries are always gonna be a little bit more progressive. However, it's just gonna continue going straight. But globalization is not gonna. I don't think it's gonna equalize everyone.
All right. So my next question to you guys is, do you guys think there's going to be any ethical implications later on with genetic mutations or genetic engineering per se, when they
No,
start having these genetic designer babies?
no,
Considering that
no.
people are
That's already being
people
done.
humans are always trying to, in theory, evolve and become better and have
Yeah,
kids to reproduce, because again
Yeah,
that's the goal
and
at the end
work
of
as
the day.
it's
optimally as
not.
possible.
um
Yeah, it's not because right now what's happening is um, the services that are offered, especially for women, single women that are successful in their lives, like in their like 30s, they can't find a partner on their level. They are going more often into like in vitro fertilization clinics, and they're literally will like, this is the type of a man I'm looking for. That's this height, this color of the hair, this and that, these type of attributes, athletic or has proclivities towards music or towards languages, this and that. And they have literally applications of sperm donors that they'll hand. They'll read those. They have a picture. They'll see the picture, and then they'll say, "Okay, I agree to this specific sperm versus that specific sperm." Right? So that's not going to change. And number two is you have to remember the whole thing with the CRISPR technology when they were giving us the injections, right? Like for COVID, like the mRNA injections, that actually adds a code of RNA into our own body, which becomes part of our genetic, now DNA. Why? Because our body doesn't have the natural proclivity to produce the antigens towards COVID. Now it does because we just added to it, right? Is our body smart? Yes, it'll produce like general antibodies that then will themselves, your body then will understand slowly and conform to the specific virus or bacteria you have to kill it. But it's much faster to deliver it with a vaccine than just get your body to go through the processes and natural selection do the job, right? There's people.
What
So I don't think it's gonna happen.
what ethical problems do you see that could present themselves, Miggy? I'm curious.
maybe in somewhere along the line of religion, maybe.
Well, that you already see with medicine and religion, right? Like
Hmm.
what is it?
Well, the
Like
religion is out the door
but
pretty
but
much.
you
yeah,
but
there's
you
already a
Religion is out
problem
the
there.
door.
but
So
you
yeah.
religion has come to evolve to the point where there are parts of religion that don't really care about going to the doctor.
Oh yeah, there's a
But
whole
there
thing
are
like
other parts of religion where they completely uh just negate the fact that,
medicine at all.
yeah, medicine exists.
Or like a really weird odd one is like Jehovah Witness. They can't get blood transfusion,
Hmm.
right?
So
Um,
guys, do you know that we're right now in Ramadan?
yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so we're in Ramadan. Have you looked what's not allowed during Ramadan?
No, I have not. I do know you're not allowed to eat and drink water during this while the sun's out, basically.
water and food. But I'm gonna give you the list, right, of the things that are not allowed during Ramadan. And some of the things that I read on there, I was like, really? Um, like this is a thing? Like I didn't know. This is not allowed, right?
In the Quran.
Don't consume water. Don't consume food, water during the fasting period. Don't hold grudges. Don't chew gum. Don't listen to loud music songs. Don't waste time. Um, this is not a very good list. Hold on a second. I have it in the
Don't beat
phone.
your meat while the crickets chirp.
Yeah,
That's
pretty much.
often.
That's in there. That's on there.
That
Uh,
gives you a small
that's
window here in Florida during certain seasons.
yeah.
What, to beat your
But see,
meat?
the thing is, depends what part of the world you're in. Depends what part of the world you're in. Ramadan might last up to 15, 16 hours because of the sun, right? So
Right.
some places are only 13 hours, some places are 16 hours, right? So these are the things: sexual activity, masturbation, drinking, eating, vomiting deliberately, postnatal bleeding, postnatal bleeding,
Post.
menstruation, medicine, pills, injections, drips, kidney dialysis, letting out blood by means of cupping, smoking, consumption of any form of illicit drugs.
You can't do kidney dialysis?
Correct.
So you just
But
fucking die? What type of what? That doesn't make
I
any
understand.
sense.
I understand. But think about this for a minute. 50% of the population, what is the 50% of the population? They're female, right? A lot of the females, what do? They menstruate. You're not allowed for this. So basically, I started reading a little bit more. And again, don't quote me on this because I'm not an expert at all. But apparently, they have to make up. They have to take they have to take note of the days and make up. And if it's a certain time, you can make up later. And if it's during certain time, you have to like do the whole thing over again
What do you mean do the
for
whole
it to
thing?
fall. Yeah, like
So
you
that
like
time.
it's considered invalid.
Oh, okay. But how would that even make sense? Doesn't Ramadan last for a whole month?
It is for 30 days.
Okay,
Um,
what female's not gonna menstruate for 30 days?
Those
that's
who
what I'm
those
saying.
who are
So
A
those who are
pregnant one?
pregnant.
A pregnant one? Yeah.
this is what I'm
So
trying to
what they're
say.
saying is, every Ramadan you better be fucking.
See, I feel like there's definitely some
Well,
things here like that. Not you can't assume that even 50% of the Muslims in the world are even following all of these rules because a bunch of these people
no, no,
fucking
no.
taking medication and die.
What I'm saying is specifically for menstruation is because to me it was like, what? How does this makes no sense, right? So apparently, if it starts during this period of however the Ramadan is put together, if it starts during this period, like you can make up those days that you lost. If it starts during this period of Ramadan, then you have to redo the Ramadan, which will make it fall in that period where you can have it and then make up.
Okay, but even then, it's every
And
3 weeks a girl has a period.
yeah, so the thing with that is, while a woman is on menstrual cycle, she can't follow Ramadan rules, and she has to eat. And if she found she's not, she's guilty. She's committing sin, but she has to eat discreetly where nobody can see her eat.
It's like in the Mandalorian where they have to when they all get together to eat at night, they all walk away from each other because they can't see each other without the helmets.
Oh, okay.
So like they when they're cooking at night, they all get together, make the food, everyone grabs their plates, and they all split off in the woods to go eat alone.
So as I said,
that's kind of what I do at my house. I go outside to grab my food and then I just split off with my mom and my grandpa and go back into my room.
Yeah, I usually go into
so
my room too a lot.
so so this directly goes back to your question: is globalization going to change? Well, I don't know because I don't know. There are some religions that are very strict with their traditions, and they still maintain them in 2024, which is considered a pretty globalized world, right? Like we're pretty close, we're as globalized as they've ever been, but yet they follow these traditions very closely,
And
right?
across the world,
You,
you know.
and across the world, right? So it's tough to say, right? I don't know, man.
What else you got for us?
It's yeah. What else you got?
Um, what do you guys think about eco-friendly fashion?
Eco-friendly. What the
Eco-friendly
fuck is an
fashion.
eco-friendly fashion?
So like, you know, for
Like
example,
recycled shoes?
yeah, like your
Yeah,
Adidas are made out of recycled stuff. I don't know if you know that. They use a lot of waste from the sea and stuff like that. I think it makes sense. Um, Especially if you can make it as good as a product as my Ultra Boost and make them from recycled
I
stuff.
don't
I don't
mind
see why
I don't
not.
mind recycled stuff. What I do mind is hideous fashion made out of recycled shit. Like if you give me like a plastic bag and call it a shirt, I hate that shit.
Yeah, I mean, I did do, for example, actually, last semester I had a class where I had to do
What are you talking about? I'll
a
be right back, guys.
class, not a class, sorry, basically a paper on exactly that. It was a company in South Africa that takes the little bags. You know, like in school we had the bags of juice.
Hmm.
They have those for water,
Yeah,
right? And that's what they use a lot
I think you
in South
showed us, and
Africa.
then they made like backpacks and
They made
stuff out of them.
backpacks, duffels, any kind of bag or pouch, like little pencil pouches and stuff
Yeah,
like that. That makes sense, you know.
but then you got these like high fashion brands that'll get like a paper bag, put a label on it. It's like $1,500. Here's a shirt.
Or I mean, you've seen the zip tie, the zip tie
It's a
bracelets
bracelet,
for like $700 something,
dude. It's ridiculous.
or paper clip keychains for
It's
$300.
like these companies that have to buy from private companies, and they end up paying like 200% more for something,
Yep,
for a zip tie that's worth
20
20
cents.
cents.
Yeah,
You pay fucking $5 a zip tie.
not even, man. Like you know, a zip tie really probably costs a company to make a few cents.
Yeah,
That amount of plastic, you know. But I get
and
what you're
that's all
saying.
made by machines too.
I get what you're saying. You know, I kind of see the same thing, you know, start to happen with watches when like all these crazy fact, like for example, a big one is Richard Mille. A lot of people make fun of Richard Mille. It's a really high end luxury watch company. They make outstanding when it comes to quality, outstanding shit, outstanding. That's why when you if you go on Instagram and you look at a lot of the high end watch dealers, I mean, not like the 47th Street guys, no, like the luxury watch dealers, they're all wearing Richards. And that's why you see all the F1 drivers wearing Richards. Like it's a high end thing. But they do get some hate because the thing feels like a toy. They're usually super light, and a lot of times they'll use these materials that, you know, sometimes it's like carbon fiber or ceramic and crazy things, and they do make precious metal watches like gold and stuff like that. But sometimes they get roasted for some of these watches that are like literally like a toy. Or for example, they came out with one recently that had a was what the strap was just an elastic, like an elastic nylon strap.
Hmm.
You just slipped it on. It was
So
ridiculous.
the thing is also Richard Mill is a very it's a good watchmaking company. However, some of the models command such a high price of what you're
Yep.
getting, and a lot of times people like this is overhyped. Reason being is because F1 drivers wearing it, because athletes are wearing it, and things like that. So that
Nadal and
overhypes
you
it.
know.
And yeah, it's a status symbol, right? And people will pay outrageous amounts of money to show a status symbol, and that's why another reason they're getting roasted on as well.
It's
You
like
know,
Hublot, but it actually makes like badass quality watches.
yeah,
Not that Hublot doesn't, but they're overhyped. You know, Hublot is
yes,
known for
very over.
being one of those brands that's overhyped. The one of the reasons you see Hublot so much is because athletes and all these people wearing Hublot, but like from what I've heard, you know, Hublot's known for every special edition watch they come out with, you can get it no problem. You know, it's like they just come out with so many special editions that none of their special editions are special anymore. You know,
Yes, 'cause, I mean, you remember the store, Hublot store? They had more watches in the Hublot store than a Seiko did.
bro, the Hublot store was so full it looked like an Invicta store. Like
Yeah,
you know when you walk in an Invicta store and it's just like
It's packed with a bunch
packed
of
full of
fucking
watches.
Invictus.
That's what the Hublot store was like, packed full of watches. It tells you
mm.
something. It really tells you, and in every single one is like a different one. You know, special edition shit. But they've
And
made so
see,
many special editions, none of them are special anymore.
that's the thing I don't understand. Remember that lady that was sitting in the plane in front of us? She was wearing a Hublot watch,
Yeah, she had a Big Bang on.
and they were sitting in like random 2x4 seats.
Yeah,
So if it's a status symbol and you can afford this watch, why are you in a 2x4 seat? But I understand you were maybe not able
Because
to get the
she's
first class
smart.
seat or better seat.
She's saving her money.
Well,
She's
she's
I
definitely
stacking
mean,
her
not smart for
bread.
spending 30 grand on a Hublot.
that's what I'm trying to say. Like you're spotting a Hublot watch, which is a status symbol,
Maybe it
but you're
was
sitting in a
maybe it was
not
just a
sta-
gift.
I personally, from what I saw, I definitely think that that was a gift to her.
could have been.
And
Little
I
man
don't, and
friend.
at the same time, who knows if it was even real?
That
That's
could be
true
true.
too.
Who
Yeah.
knows if it was even real? Because I did take a look at her husband's wrist, and wasn't rocking anything at all. He didn't have a watch on his wrist at all.
Yeah.
And they didn't look like they had a lot of money. I didn't pay too much attention though. The only thing I was really looking at was her watch,
Hey
and I
man,
noticed it was
we were on
Hublot.
the same fucking plane.
They're
Yeah.
sitting right in front of us, literally.
Same boat.
That's what I'm trying to say. So I don't know, man. It is what it is. But like talking about the recycled stuff, um,
I'm
like
down with it.
commanding a yeah, I'm down with it, but sometimes commanding a higher price for recycled stuff to me makes no sense. Like, why
Mhm.
would I buy the like if you trying to save the planet, make the recycled stuff and make it cheaper so I can buy it and say, you know what, I'm getting the same model, it's recycled, but it is the same model, I'm getting the same cover. But if you're gonna put a higher price tag on it, it's like you selling organic food, and just because you slap the label organic, it costs like two times
But
more. Like
you have to realize, Jade, it does cost more money to produce to make the
it
stuff with
does, because
recycle. It's
you
more of
have
a
to refine
process.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to refine it, this and that. But if you're trying to save the planet, why are you putting
They're
your cost on me?
at the end of the day, they're corporations, so they're
Yeah,
gonna
it's
do
like
it.
I'm trying to save the planet. I'm going to produce an item for you, but then I'm going to make profit off of this, the same, if not more profit off of this. But you're going to pay the cost as an end consumer. So where are you in this whole save the planet? Just because you manufactured something that makes you now
I think that's the whole thing,
do
Jay, is that
do gooder for
you're
the planet?
you're trying to exactly they're trying to entice people to kind of feel like they're paying a little more and they're doing something for the planet by paying a little more.
Okay.
That's the whole thing behind it.
Next
It's like
question for you guys. Do you guys think that virtual reality could be helpful in improving symptoms of mental problems?
oof, that's a good one. That's a good one. I think that would be extremely hard, but I don't think it's impossible. I definitely don't think it's impossible. I think it would take
Because it could potentially help people with uh what is it, memory loss and Alzheimer's. Maybe potentially rekindle some memories, maybe rewire some things in their head
possibly, I don't
with
know.
enough.
I think it'd be really hard. Like how like it all depends on how much visual plays a factor into that. I do know, like, for example, because it did click when you said Alzheimer and memory deficiency. Like, I know, for example, simple exercises of, like, for example, let's say you're someone who's going to be prone to Alzheimer's, because you can figure that out if you
So
want to,
tests and
right?
stuff, yeah.
You can do things like take different routes to work every day. Because they say, like, repetitive things, basically something that becomes basically
Things that
straight up muscle memory. Uh, Doing those things more often will actually help that deterioration.
yeah.
So you want to keep your mind active constantly. So doing little things like
Doing
that,
things like puzzle work.
puzzle work, basically not doing repetitive things is the number one. It's
Always
like,
being in learning.
yeah, do things differently every time you do them, and that'll help with the whole memory thing. And maybe that could be implemented with virtual reality, because from what we're seeing, virtual reality is going to be a thing where it's virtual, and really it's going to be
There's
augmented.
virtual and then there's augmented.
It's going to be augmented reality.
Augmented is going to be more aimed towards productivity and work.
But I do think the augmented could be implemented with what you're saying, in the sense where it kind of can remind you to take this route today, take this route today. You don't have to think about it yourself, but it'll do that, and it'll help your brain get through those exercises. That could be a possibility, but that shit would have to be, I don't know. At first, when you said it, I thought of like a virtual reality headset that puts you in some kind of environment to maybe calm you down,
That too.
or something like that.
That too.
Uh, but it would have to
Because it
be
is right now mainly an entertainment system.
it would have to be able to monitor your vitals in some kind of way, to maybe check your heart rate and blood pressure if it's going up, or maybe even something like Neuralink, where it can actually maybe read your
They're
brainwaves, be more
definitely at the
direct.
leading edge on that. A lot of it's almost gonna be like Bluetooth technology. They're gonna be the essential thing to kind of connect everything together, because
I
technology
think
for virtual reality right now, it's not accessible, as accessible as one would want it to be.
right.
It's too big, it's too janky, it
It's
doesn't work as
expensive.
well, it's expensive. There's too much going on for it at the moment.
I do think that the Neuralink possibly in the future will get rid of it all, though.
That's what I'm saying. It'll be able to connect all the dots together and just be
Put it in
the
one.
one platform.
Yeah, just inject this Neuralink in the back of your brain, and then now you have a literally like think of it just being badass. You have a computer built into your brain that actually works with your eyes, and you can automatically like basically you have a
You have
virtual
a
reality
fucking you
headset.
have a power level reader on your fucking
Power
eye.
level reader over 9,000. You can basically have a virtual headset built into your eyes. You know, a
By the
computer
way,
built into your brain.
R.I.P. to, I think his name was Akira Toriyama, creator of Dragon Ball Z.
Oh yeah, man, that's
Yeah, he
crazy.
passed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
And
passed
by the way,
away. R.I.P.
remember that video that we watched where they asked the AI to generate what's going to happen to humanity, and slowly, like humans became robots. Like eventually, it's going to happen, right? Like
Yeah.
it's going to start with a Neuralink and slowly transform. But
I actually saw a AI robot video today where this guy they had open AI installed in it was one of those robots that does like the backflips and parkour and shit.
Mm-hmm.
That shit was kind of scary. So they made it look pretty consumer friendly, but you know it makes your mind think, right? The guy goes up to the robot and just like, "Hey, what's this in my hand?" And he was holding a plate. He's like, "Oh, that's a plate." And then he like puts the or it was like a basket. Puts the basket down. Oh, what's in the basket? Oh, inside the basket is a plate and a cup. Okay. What else is on the table? Oh, a drying rack with more plates and cups in it. The fucking AI was responding. Put the plates and the cups in the drying rack. Put the plates and the cups in the drying rack. Bro, scary, scary. And
Fallout
and it
assistant.
was weird because you can definitely tell it's a work in progress because there was times when the guy would ask a question and it would take
He
a
would have
little
a
second.
hiccup.
It would take a little second to process
He
it.
wasn't paying for that Chat GPT premium. That's why.
No, no, he was getting the trial run, so it was taking a second.
He's getting
You know.
Chat GPT 3.5.
yeah, they're like, we can't connect this motherfucker to internet. You never know when it's going to overtake the world, you know. So,
But yeah, it was pretty scary. I'm gonna see if I can find the clip.
We got
so
any final
well,
final
yeah, I got
questions?
two more things. I got two more things too. So apparently, while he's looking for that, they're the apparently these 16 polite habits that are actually super annoying, right? And one of the first ones is overusing apologies. What do you think about that? That does
That
kind
was
of
the
annoy me when
first
people keep saying sorry,
thing that
sorry,
I
sorry.
was thinking of. The
Yeah,
overuse of sorry. There was this one girl one time at a restaurant that I used to work at, and she would just say sorry, sorry every time for anything. Sorry, sorry. It's like just you just bump.
overuse of
I know you're gonna bump into me. Stop saying sorry about it.
yeah.
we're in 3 inches
I'm
or 3 foot of
definitely.
space here.
I feel like because I'm so conscious of with people's attitudes and behavior towards me, I try to be very conscious sometimes back, and so I can feel like I'm definitely a victim of that sometimes, of like overusing the sorry.
Yeah,
But I don't know.
What about overuse of sir and ma'am?
Oh, I'm that's me 100%.
I use it a lot.
I all day,
Because
all day.
so the reason why I do this is because I suck with names, and a lot of the time I will just blank out and just forget the person's name.
I just
So
find it a way of like showing a bit of respect. That's the way I always
Unless
look
I
at it.
know you personally,
that's what it
and I
is.
know your name, I'm probably not
Yes,
gonna
that's
call
what I
you
was going to
sir
go with that.
unless you're much older than me.
Yeah,
No,
that's what I was going to go with that. Yeah.
even like for example, I'm walking in and out of gas stations all day, and every time someone holds the door open for me, no matter their age, unless it's like a kid, unless it's like someone that's actually younger than me,
Even
uh,
sometimes when they're kids, I'll still say thank you, sir.
yeah, exactly. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
So
All right, have a good day,
here's the
sir.
bottom
Whatever.
line. You can kind of tell who likes that and who doesn't like that. And sometimes
I've
I'll like
never.
purpose as a waiter when they would say that to me, I would just continue repeating because I knew it bothered them that much. I would just be a dick about it.
I wouldn't
But
care
uh,
there.
but I think like social calibration, you can kind of tell who is okay with you saying so. Like for example, I never stop saying like you in a with a capital Y to your grandma and grandpa. Never. You know what I mean? Like when I'm talking to them, it's just the way it is, right? But then also, if you look the way Colombians speak, they use that usted, the you with the capital, to anyone. Doesn't matter if they know them. It's more widely used. But I
Yeah,
think it's just kind of knowing
the
who to
for
use it with.
when I learned
The
Spanish growing up,
formal you.
Oh, I love using that shit.
usted is to be
Especially when I talk to my
respectful.
mom.
That's straight up like that. Usted is to be respectful, so it's gonna be to anyone you do not know, you have not been acquainted with, or to someone older than you, like an elder. You'd usually use usted. But I mean, in growing up, at least in my Hispanic environment, I was never told as a kid like, "Hey, don't use tu. You need to use usted." Like never. I was never. I was told not to call people ese tipo because I was a little rude, but I was that was about it.
I still did. I don't give a fuck.
I still do to
So
this day.
It's just easier to
over,
describe somebody or to talk
over the
shit about
top
somebody.
over the top compliments. I can see that, especially if they're over the top. They're most of the time they're insincere, and I can like that irks the shit out of me when people will like fake smile and be like all happy just because they have to put that face on. I'm like, bro, stop. I didn't say anything
When
funny.
you're
Stop.
walking
Like
past
I'm not.
somebody in a hallway and just give them that fake
Yeah,
ass smile.
yeah. I'm not. I'm not Schultz. I'm not fucking cracking jokes up here. You don't have to smile. You know, it is
I'm
what it
someone
is.
who I feel like gives compliments not too often, but anytime I give a compliment, it's always genuine, and I do understand what you're talking about. I hate the
Dick sucking.
overreactions. Like you can
Yeah.
kind of tell, you can read it. That's bullshit.
Over tidiness in a shared space. I kind of disagree with this. I think if it's a shared space, you keep that shit tidy. Right? If you
Yes,
fucking made a mess, you clean up after yourself, motherfucker. Like you do
yes,
that. It's a shared space.
Mm-hmm.
Excessive,
Especially at like an office space.
yeah,
excessive pleases. Like imagine how it feels when a child says please 1,000 times a minute.
yeah.
Like please, 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 please. Yeah, I think you're being a little childish, but
You got
you
the
know,
point
sometimes
across the
most.
first time, so
Yeah, but sometimes that's more like playful, right?
exactly.
Insisting on paying always. I can see that, but there are cultures that you can't get away with it. And Armenians are fucking notorious for that. Arabs are notorious for that. Like Georgians are notorious for that. There are cultures that are just like that. Like it it's within their nature, right? So
I feel like I see that a bit with Hispanics, not as much like as I see as how strict some Europeans are and Arabs, like you're saying. But I do see that with Hispanics when the Hispanics specifically care an extreme amount about certain people. Like for example,
Family usually.
usually it's family, or for example, let's say it's someone younger than you. You know what I mean? Like if you're gonna take out your little cousin somewhere, or and the little cousin brings his friend, you're gonna pay for the little cousin and his friend's ice cream, whatever it is. Even if the little friend brought his $10, you're gonna fucking pay for his ice cream usually. Or like for example, I think I've told this story. I was telling this to my dad actually the other day. I went to I don't remember, Miami or Orlando. We went on a beach trip with Emily's family, and I wanted to buy a little boonie hat because I had forgot a hat, right? And it was sunny. It's Florida. It was like $12 or whatever. We're in the grocery store, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna grab this." Okay, let me pay for it. No, 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 I'll pay for it. No, no, let me pay for it. And I was like, and I didn't want her to pay for it, so I was like, "Oh, actually, I don't need it. I think I have one in the car or whatever, and it's a little small on me, the one that I was gonna buy." As we're walking out of the store, I was like, "Oh, I gotta go use the bathroom," and I go and I buy the hat, and when I come outside, she was super, super pissed, and I feel like that's just something like it means so much to people to like pay for others.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like grandmas in cooking, like to provide, to provide
Yeah, yeah,
food
yeah.
and happiness kind of thing. That I feel like that's where you see it a lot.
offering too many choices. I think it's that Baskin Robbins case in 35 flavors where you leave the store and you're like, fuck, I didn't choose anything because I got kind of mad. I didn't know which one to pick. But that's
Offering
I
too
can
many
see that.
choices, I could see this for someone that can't pick, like can't optimize their situation to pick the correct option.
I think it's just one of those things when you most of the time it's when you go to a new restaurant and like first couple of times like I don't know what to pick and you get annoyed by it. But the
Yeah.
point here is you pick something, you eat it, whether you like it or you dislike it, it's up to you because you picked it, right? Because nobody wants to make the wrong choice.
Yep.
right? And but it's just one of those things. It's a new place. You got to go back a couple of times.
You
You got to go
mentioned
back a couple of times to pick.
you mentioned Baskin Robbins. Akash Singh made a joke in his new special called Gaslit, where he mentions the genders and how there was like 71 genders in 2019, 81 genders in 2021, and then 2023 there was like 107 genders. He's like, Baskin Robbins has 35 items in their menu. That's good enough for Baskin Robbins. 35 genders is good enough for the people.
I we have more genders than flavors of ice cream. Okay.
Yeah, well, apparently it's not. So, interrupting to yield the floor. Interrupting to yield the floor. What the fuck is that even?
Basic.
Politely interrupting to take the floor may seem considerate, but it can disrupt the natural flow of
Basically just
conversation.
stealing the spotlight.
Yeah.
Hmm. Forcing small talk. Yeah, that's annoying. Don't talk to me about weather, bro. If you have nothing good to say, like just let's talk about shit. But then a lot of times, some of the topics that people talk about might not be very interesting to you. So this is where it comes like you need to find a room where you haven't outgrown the room, so you can have throw ideas around that are always interesting to talk about, and
I feel like this is mostly people who don't like the small talk like with randoms. Like I'm one of
yeah,
those people who randomly, like if I get stuck in the elevator with someone, I usually would be like, "How you doing today?" Like just minimum of something, because I feel like it's always just so awkward, just fucking standing there next to each other and not even uttering a word.
Just pretending you're not
Yeah,
there.
like the other person not even there. But then you all the time I get the bad reaction of like the short, quick answer, which instantly tells me I don't want to talk. Which cool, then I don't keep talking. Um, but most of the time, when you ask someone a question like that, they're pretty accepting, and people are mostly. That's the way I look at small talk. If when people say like, I feel like a lot of people think of small talk of like small talk within their friends, and I'm like, yeah, then those aren't even your friends. You don't even know what the fuck to talk about with them if you're doing small talk with people you know. Um,
yeah.
why are you even friends?
Offering
I don't do small
offering
talk. I
un,
just don't talk at all.
offering unwanted assistance. Now, I agree with this, but if your manager comes in and says, "Hey, you need a help with this," there's a reason why they're doing that, right? Like when I used to manage, well, technically, when I managed people, I wasn't didn't micromanage at all. Just left them to their devices, and only when so they're fucking up, be like, "Hey, listen, we need to fix this." And then if they continue to fuck up, then hey, use the assistance, right? But a lot of times people are
He said
notorious for
he
not
said he
asking
said
help.
I'm not even fucking managing or supervising. I'm just a disciplinarian.
Yeah.
No, because I clearly believe if you're hired to do a job, that you're capable of doing your job. I shouldn't go out there and constantly be breathing down your neck and teach
Yeah.
to do it this way, do that way. Like I will introduce you to the job and I'll tell you the shortcuts what you can do to make your job faster, and then you go to yourself and do your thing, right? And then if you're coming back to me having questions, no problem, I'll answer those questions. But if I tell you fucking up, and be like, hey, what's going on? Hey, this is how it needs to be done. So if I can up the second time, that's when I'm going to come in. Hey, you need help. Now, this doesn't mean that you're getting fired. And I think a lot of times that's what happens. People are like, oh my God, if I don't do this on my own, I'm going to get fired, blah, blah, blah. No, majority of the time, it costs a lot more to replace you than to fucking fire you. The one thing that you absolutely suck at is not asking for help. Ask for help as much as you can and as often as you can. It might seem annoying at first, but trust me, by the time that 6 months or year mark passes, you're going to be the most knowledgeable person on that group because you're going to know everything because everyone has helped you.
So it's
That is one of the
interesting.
So,
brightest things I've heard Jay said, like, ever.
So it's interesting that you thought of the workplace, because I thought of more of like personal. Because I notice a lot of times I try and do this, and it happens to me a lot with my girlfriend and actually with my dad because I
sorry,
work with him.
sorry, I didn't mention if it's a boss and a subordinate position. Now, if it's two like same level people, then yeah, you know what I mean. If it's then it's a little different, but it's a boss and a subordinate. Sorry,
So like
go
off
ahead.
excessive offering of help. I sometimes do that where it's like, and I feel like what
You're
I
doing the
unknowingly
work.
do is basically undermine them, right? Because like I see them doing something, and I'm like, hey, like let me do it, and I'll do it this way. Like a lot of times, what they feel is like I feel like they're the way that they're receiving is like I
Damn,
can't
I
do
don't
it
know
good
how to
enough.
do this, but
I'm
he
not
knows how to do it, so I'm just gonna let him do it because he knows how to do it well.
or he thinks I don't know how to do it well, and that's why he just wants me to move out the way and do it. Like basically like I think they're doing a shit job or whatever. And I feel like that happens a lot of times with my girlfriend and even sometimes with my dad at work, where he's like on the handheld and I'm like, "Yes, let me do it," because I can see him struggling, and so I'm like, "Yeah, let me help you." He's like, "No, I need to learn," and I can tell it's like he feels like he can't do it. Like he feels like I think he can't do it,
Yeah.
which is not the case. I'm just trying to help him do it more efficiently or whatever, you know. And that happens a lot with Emily too.
Cool.
So, uh, I used to be like that, and then I kind of slowly stopping to be like that, bro. You sleep so much better when you don't like help. Like if they ask for it, you do it, and if they don't, you don't offer it, bro. You sleep so much better. And now I just got to the point where I started getting annoyed when they'll ask for something. I'm like, motherfucker, you know exactly how to do this. Why are you asking? I've seen you do this countless times. Why are you asking me for my help? Like, come
Versus
out to me and say,
before.
hey, listen, I feel a little bit lazy about this. I don't know if I want to do it on my own. Can you come and help me and do it for me? No
Well,
problem. I
that's
got you,
different,
bro.
yeah.
Be fucking upfront about it. Don't just come and give me some like, can you help me? I'm like, motherfucker, I know you've done this several times before. Like, why are you asking me for my help? But yeah. So refusing compliments. How's that annoying? Like, you refuse a compliment. Like, okay, thanks. Like, like, okay, great. Like, give me a Nobel Prize for doing something I was supposed to do anyway. Like, I don't get that. You know what I mean? Like,
What?
I,
But what's the point in even uttering like the no, I didn't do this. Like just take it and move on. You know what I mean? Like there's no point in that sort of rebuttal. You know, if you think about it.
yeah. So a lot of times I think so. So for example, the best way I describe it is when somebody gets hired to do a job and they do their job really well, you were hired to do the job and you were hired to do the job really well. That's your job. Now, unless you go out of your job and you do something extra that doesn't include within your job duties, that this is a compliment deserving because you did something more than what your job entails you to do. Just because you're good at your job, that congratulations, you're hired specifically for that job.
Yeah, but what you're saying is not accepting compliments. So, but what's the point in like when someone comes to you like, "Hey, good job for doing this," and be like, "Well, that's what I'm supposed to do." Like, what's the
Well,
point in that sort of rebuttal? It's just a rude
oh,
thing.
okay. No, 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 no. I'm never tell him that. I'm just saying
Yeah.
you that's how I feel inside. I never tell him that. But the thing with this is, I see what you're asking. So to me, when I do something, I really want to do it. I have no regrets about it, nor I'm taking a tally of things. I do it, and that's it, right? Like I don't. If I didn't want to do it, I wouldn't do it. The reason I did it is because I want to do it, right? So you see what I'm
This is
saying?
getting a little tongue twisted here, Jay.
So basically, if I did something for you, that means I genuinely wanted to do
I
that
get it.
without holding that shit over your
Yeah,
head.
yeah, I get it. I get it. Favor, yeah.
Yeah, apologizing for saying no. Sorry, but no.
That's not annoying.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. Always avoiding conflict. Uh, yeah, because at times that might seem that you like don't even give a shit, right? Even
Mm-hmm.
though you're just avoiding the uncomfortable situation, but it seems like you don't give a shit.
sometimes you have to just go through the uncomfortable, though. That's just how it
Yeah.
works, you know. And not sometimes, most of the times, you gotta go through the uncomfortable. You can't just avoid shit, you know.
Excessive use of formal language. I can see how that can get annoying sometimes. Maybe I don't know. Overuse of emojis.
It
I don't
depends who
know.
does it.
This sounds like
If you have Dr. Jordan Peterson talk to you formally, you wouldn't care.
this sounds
No,
like someone
exactly.
that's paying way too much attention to other people's behaviors. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
Oh,
if you're really gonna care this much about how other people are acting like this, really,
yeah.
you putting that much
Overuse of
thought?
emojis.
Like, exactly. All right, I think we're good, right?
Yep.
Constantly nodding in agreement. Yeah, I guess.
This is
But
bullshit.
I do have. Yeah, I do have one more
Let's
thing
save
though.
it. Let's save it for next time. We're about to be 11 o'clock already.
Well, let's finish this. It's 5 minutes more, not more.
All
Five
right, Jay.
minutes.
We already
We're
started.
20
We're
minutes late,
late,
so
man.
5 minutes. We started late. So apparently, this company is teaming with Bumble. The trader starts collab with Bumble to launch the deception detector. So they're gonna be detecting deception in profiles that are. Sorry, let me read this. If you're out there dating, who wouldn't want an extra level of protection from all the scammers out there on the dating apps? like, wouldn't it be great to get some of the smartest, the traders, contestants, such as whatever, blah blah blah, to give you options, options, a
How are
browse,
they gonna
and
do
that.
this? I get it. They're trying to get people to stop lying, but how are they gonna do that?
Yeah, so there's a new deception detector with people that are trying to scam you and things like that.
They,
My question
I
here
thought
is, I don't know how they're
they've
gonna
already
do it. Maybe they.
I thought they've already had this before already on things like Tinder, where
Yeah,
you do a photo, you send it to them, they do a verification, and boom, you're verified. So
Mhm. Now, that's all true, but what if somebody took a photo of themselves with a filter on, same filter, sent it over, now their filters are being verified. So I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna extend this to catfishing as far as like filters go and verification, because there are some accounts that are not verified on there. And notoriously, the dating apps are more like 70% male and 30% female, so they do need more females on there, for the apps to work properly. You know what I mean? So for the guys to continuously go there and spend the money. You know what I mean? Because who spends the money? Most, let's be serious here, is the men. Um, and so I don't know if that's going to extend to the catfishing. I think it's going to more extend to somebody that's trying to scam you, like the Nigerian prince of money. You know what I mean? But also another one, whether they're going to detect like that these girls are siphoning people from Tinder apps to their OnlyFans. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's not for dating, or they're offering like like
illegal
pay
services.
for pay for play type of services. You know what I mean?
That's what
So
I
I
thought
don't
of
know if
when
they're
you
gonna
first
do all
said
that. Yeah,
first like picking up on on fake accounts, not fake accounts, but deception and shit like this. I thought of people who are basically offering services or OnlyFans, trying to pick up on accounts that
yeah,
aren't actually people trying to date.
yeah, and I think it's more geared towards like the Nigerian prince scamming, the way the article puts it. So
Or maybe even like
I don't
someone
know.
lying about their height. So I don't know. What are they gonna do? How are they gonna figure that out though? Like what are they gonna do? Start doing reviews? Like that was like asking people, was this person actually this tall or whatever?
Mm. I think the height requirement and money requirement should come in with the national data. Like if it's someone's height, it should say only 15% of United States is this height, only 5% of
You want
United
them?
States
You
is
want
this
this? You
height.
want to give them the statistics as they're looking at people?
Yeah, yeah, of course, because a lot of times, I think
maybe
men
once you
don't
get
have the.
that power level reader,
I feel like that's gonna detach the humanity part of this too much to where
just data.
it's gonna be like it's gonna be like job interviews. You know what I mean? Versus dating. It's gonna turn
Well,
into
no,
that
because
if it's like that.
what that's gonna do is gonna show you this person that you're swiping right on. They're very rare, so you're gonna then, because I think the dating websites and social media give false sense of what where someone's level is, right? Whether it's below their level or above their level. You know what I mean? Does that make sense at all?
No, I don't understand.
So for example, um, because there are more men on there than women, guys might not get swiped right on as many times, right? So which means that the guy might could be attractive, get his shit together and everything else, but he's not getting as many matches as he would perceive he would. So now his level, that automatically shows that his level is actually lower than what he actually is. Versus a girl, because there's more guys and they're constantly swiping and matching with these women gonna think that their level is much higher than what they are, right? In a scale of 1 to 10, let's say, right? Because most people are around average, right? But if somebody's, let's say, 6 foot and taller, that's only 15% of the population. They're exceptional. You see what I'm saying? So when someone is looking at that as like 15% of the
I
population
still
and you're just an average,
I
you
still
know what I
think
mean?
that's gonna
Like,
make things worse because you're gonna
I
take
don't
the
know. It's
gonna take the humane part out of like just like natural connection between people. Like the people are just
well
gonna be
that's
looking for all these qualities and versus just like, oh, this person looks nice, let's give it a shot.
well no that's what dating websites are. You swipe and look at pictures.
I
And
know,
a lot
but
of
then now you're
times
gonna start
they're
giving all these statistics, and people are gonna just start comparing all these statistics and looking for it like a fucking
correct.
employee, you know,
Well,
which
yes, because
It
a
kind
lot
of
of times
already
that's
is
what I'm
that
saying.
way.
The
yeah.
overinflated, it gives overinflated sense of ego to women and underinflated sense of ego to men. the dating websites, that's what they do. In general, social media, that's what it does.
I can
And
agree.
that's why a lot of times girls that are like average that just ended up being in the right place, right time, and slept with Drake. Now they think they deserve a Drake level guy just because Drake slept with them. See what I'm saying? Like this is gonna put him in a perspective. He is Drake, and you're average. You understand that he just slept with you.
Sounds like the
That's
thought
all there
process
was.
of some ignorant people.
Well, that's the majority, bro. Look what you mean. The
Yeah.
like literally, this is the reason why men overall in having issues with dating women right now, and women having issues dating men
Well,
because women can't find men that are like up there because they've dated someone that was up there. They've been, the lover boy method. They got a little bit of money, nice car, took them out, boom, 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 wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. And then it's like, yeah, you're just an overnighter. I just hit you and quit you. You know what I mean? And they get fucking butt hurt, but they've already it's like once you taste dulce de leche, it's very hard to go back eating just an apple. You know what I mean? Where in reality you're just an apple, you're not a dulce de leche. You know what I mean?
I get
alrighty,
You know
everyone.
what I'm
Thank you for
saying?
joining us tonight. We appreciate y'all coming in the chat. Don't forget Vitality Wellness Center. Got the locations on 4th Street, Park Street. The new locations on 4th Street. They are open a little bit longer hours than the one on Park Street. So for you guys looking to get your nighttime modalities in, you can head over there to 4th Street. Thank you everyone for joining us. Make sure to check out Vitality. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Peace.
it. Entry right there on top left.